think, because it's been such a while since we started this process. And from my perspective as the advisor, so obviously my name's Sharon, and I help you with the project all the way through. Oh, Abaji's just texting, he's having a little network challenge. Okay, so he'll come soon. So being able to start with you all at the beginning of the initial ideas and doing that collaboratively from the beginning was amazing. So even though it does seem like it's taken a bit of time, the application is in and we'll get the funding. I'm crossing my fingers, but we will. I've never been refused funding in the past, and it's coming to the end of the project. So I'm really super confident that we'll get that funding. So, I'm delighted then to work with you throughout the rest of the project. But we do need to remind ourselves of who we are. So I was saying to the ladies in Nigeria that I do have 2 jobs. So I am quite frazzled. And I need to say a full disclaimer, really, because I am doing lots for CCGL. So I have 14 clusters now. So forgive me if I forget the details of your project. I always try to remind myself at certain points, but with you guys, you were one of my new clusters, so I spend more time with the new clusters, but I still am looking after ones that are 18 months old as well. So it does get a little bit confusing with my SDGs at times. And also I work for a charity that's working with Lesotho, and we've got lots of activity happening over there, and a Jolly Phonics literacy pilot project and all sorts of things going on. So my head is a bit like, So, full disclaimer, but I think we're all a bit like that when we're in education anyway, aren't we? So if I come over to Bankley, do you want to introduce yourself again, my dear?
Yes, good morning, everyone. My name is Bankole Bemiga. So I teach here in Lagos, Nigeria. I've taught biology for about 10 years now. And what else? What else? Okay, I organize JET programs. JET is Junior Engineers, Technicians, and Scientists for my school. And I'm a teacher trainer, and I'm also a learner. I enjoy to learn from my colleagues because it just betters my expertise all the time. So thank you. I'm eager to work collaboratively on this project. Thank you.
Thanks, Bankley. And Bankley's been on point all the way through and happy to, get involved from the beginning with all the process. And I really thank you. And she checks in constantly, which I think is brilliant. And please don't be shy to keep checking in. If you're not sure what's happening, just use WhatsApp and text us. I'll just mute you, Bankley, because there's a bit of background noise there. But something I want to quickly say about some of the feedback from Bankley was that she's a teacher trainer and she's really interested in bringing in that element even at a high school level, where you've got the secondary pupils that have already clearly marked that they want to be teachers. And I think that's a really brilliant idea to bring them into this project to really start to understand SDG 4 and quality education. I think that's a lovely idea. Welcome, Abaji. You've got your network okay now? Hi, we're just doing introductions again, okay?
Okay, good morning.
Do you want to introduce yourself now, actually, since you're unmuted?
Okay, I'm okay. Good morning, house. Good morning. Good morning. Can you all hear me?
Yes, we can. We can.
Okay, I send my warm greetings from Abuja, all the way from Nigeria. And I'm so happy to be part of the meeting this morning. I hope it's going to be a swell time at the end of it. Thank you.
Oh, wonderful, wonderful. Can you remind everybody what school you're from?
Okay, meanwhile, I'm from Government Secondary School, Jiwa. Jiwa, like I said, is located in Abuja, the outskirts of Abuja here. Yeah. And then basically.
And when we did specify, didn't we, so that your school will be linked with Shan's school, so with Llanwern. So this is where you need to get your Welsh pronunciation going. So a double L is a sound. So Llanwern.
Okay, Llanwern.
Yeah.
Llanwern.
Yeah. So well, that leads me straight to Shan then. So Shan, you can introduce yourself, and then we can do Nant Gwyn with the primary as well.
Okay, so hello everybody. Really excited to see you today. My name's Sian. It doesn't look like it should be pronounced Sian. It's Sian, but it's a Welsh name. So that's why. So it's Sian, and I'm from Llanwern High School, and yeah, really excited to be here today.
Thanks, Sian. Okay, so is it Elizabeth who also is with us? On Teams it says Mbola. Are you Elizabeth? Oh, you need to unmute. No, can you unmute yourself?
I am Abimbola. I'm not Elizabeth.
You're Abimbola. Sorry. So where are you from, my dear?
Oh, yes, I'm from Lagos. I'm the British Council facilitator on core skills. And I'm here to support the Nigerian teachers on training on international partnership learning and on other ways I can help. I'm here. That's why I'm here, just to give them support if there's any need.
Brilliant. That's brilliant. And as soon as we get the green light from the UK office, we can book in that CPD for the colleagues in Nigeria.
Definitely, yes.
Well, are you doing things blended or online? How are you conducting your CPD at the moment?
We have done online, and if there need be, we can also do a face-to-face.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, wonderful. Oh, thank you for joining us. I did send it across. I wasn't sure who was who, so that's wonderful. Thank you. So Elizabeth isn't here, but hopefully Elizabeth will see this recording so she can get to meet everybody again. Okay, thank you, Amibola. Okay, Vicky, over to you. Hopefully audio's working.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, and I fixed that myself. I'm really proud. Yeah, I'm Vicky from Ysgol Nant Gwyn. Laura is also part of the project, but is teaching this morning, so she's not here. So yeah, very excited, and it's really lovely now that we've got a primary to work with as well as the secondary. So very much looking forward to collaborating.
Brilliant. And so Bankerley School will be connected with your school on the high school side. And obviously Elizabeth, who's not here, then will be the primary phase. But what we'll do, as soon as we get that confirmation of the funding, we'll arrange another meeting. And, you know, maybe an idea to think about on that Teams meeting is that we could have some pupil representatives that could also join, or at least say hello kind of thing, which would be a nice beginning to the project. Like I said, I think, you know, it's 99% assured that we'll get the funding. If we didn't, for some horrible reason, there is another deadline in June, so we would resubmit. So none of the work that we've done so far is wasted. And as I said when we met ages ago, that this is the foundation stage of this project, really. And there will be new versions in 2022 that will include the visits as well, hopefully, post-COVID. So what now? That's the thing. What do we do now? I think when we wrote the application, you know, we had some really clear elements that we wanted to do surrounding SDG 4 and SDG 10. And so I think, like I said, when we need to have the full confirmation before we do a big launch, but we need to plan ahead, I think, already, so that your partnerships can start putting some things in the diary to plan. Because basically in the action plan, we said for June, which is not that long away, to do the SDG 4 sharing. So looking at some STEM topics and doing some videos and sharing of actual lessons and teaching. So that's a conversation that needs to be had quite soon, really. But an additional to that is just the general awareness raising of the SDGs. So that would be the first kind of activity that needs to be done in your schools to launch the project as well. So, you know, everybody knows what's going on. And I'm sure there's lots of pupils and even staff members that don't know what the SDGs are. So that would need to be a first activity. Whether it could be done in assembly, or whether you've got pupils that you would work with straight away, that they could do a little bit of learning about, your chosen SDG and the general SDGs and put together a presentation. So they are the ones that lead it from the beginning. That's totally up to you. And I would recommend that you talk in your partnerships about how you'd like it to work. I think because we've started so collaboratively from the beginning, it'd be wonderful if you could continue that. So when you do present it to your school, if you've got both partners involved, would be really good, whether it's just photos or a little audio or a little video clip from your partner schools to, you know, solidify what this project is. I think that would be really, really fantastic. So what I suppose what would be good now is that we can have a chat, just thinking ahead to what that SDG 4 sharing could be, because I think that is the one that's going to take more time to plan, really, in terms of STEM topics. So have you had any other further ideas about what you would like perhaps to see, maybe from the Nigerian side? What type of topic or way of doing something would be top of your list? Have you had to, shall I explain it again? So in terms of sharing pedagogy, so thinking of a STEM topic that perhaps the Welsh schools could share via video and via resources, and then you all do something similar afterwards, what would you think would be top of your list? What topic would you like to start with?
Yeah, like me from Nigeria, we have been, the STEM topic right now that I think applies to the moment is the issue of energy, especially clean energy. So, and I believe it's a global issue that is contemporary, and everyone is jolting to us. So I believe probably that can be considered clean energy.
Yeah, absolutely. Bankley, would you agree that that could be a good first topic?
Yes, absolutely. My children and I work on climate change and pollution control for a bit. So I think that's also in connection with clean energy.
Yeah. Which I think, obviously, we've said all of these are interrelated anyway. I'm just going to mute you, Bankley, because there is a background noise there. You know, I think ultimately, when you look right at the beginning of this project and showing and celebrating and sharing what the SDGs are and what an international partnership is, you can't get away from how the global goals are all interrelated. And so then coming into a topic like this actually would be really good, because actually what you are bringing into it straight away, additional to the sharing of quality education, you're bringing in inequality and how areas around the world are not able to access these things, and also starting to look straight into climate change at the responsibility for carbon. And you've got some amazing statistics of how, you know, you've got the European countries and the America, where you've got the highest number of pollution and the oil that's being used, whereas then you're looking at the African countries and it's right the way down low. So you've got this inequality, and then who is doing what to the planet. So I think bringing that into a sharing context would be really, really interesting. Okay, well, it's good. I think if the Welsh schools can note that as a first topic, then that would be really good to share in June, wouldn't it? Okay. Did any of you get to look at those documents I shared that could be getting to know you activities? They were on a Google link. I'll just share my screen because they're very simple pupil to pupil activities. Just bear with me a second. So can everybody see that? Can everybody mute for me, please? I can see it. I can hear a lot of children crying. Everyone can mute. I'm not on my screen at the minute. Hang on, let me go back. Let me stop sharing. Oh, there we go. Right. Could you see that document then when I was sharing it? Let me go back. There we go. So there's this is an overview sheet. So it's in a Google folder, and there's 5 different activities. And this is just the overview sheet that shows, you know, it's really introducing about pupil to pupil, school to school, community to community, world to world. So it's looking at that local to global approach that we like to do in global learning. Okay, so that's just the overview sheet. If you click on, say, that's my favorite place to learn, which is the SDG 4 focus. It's just a really simple activity that you could do where learners, if you're looking at asking learners about the varied places learning can take place, ask them to produce a descriptive piece of writing or a photograph or a drawing about their favourite place to learn, and there's some key questions, and then you send that across to your partner school and they do the same. And what that generates is conversations about similarities and differences, bigger issues then looking at SDG 4, and you know, it could turn into something bigger. It could be part of your launch to the rest of your school, because what's going to automatically generate is pictures and videos of the different spaces that you've got in school and the different materials that you use for learning. So these are just A4 sheets, really simple, bear with me, that look at different things. So this one is then just about more the personal, what makes you happy. Being able to sing, having lots of friends. So again, looking at songs that make you happy. So this is more of a personal connection. Then again, you send it across to your school and they do the same. Okay. So, you know, even just doing one of those, I think in the interim between now and the official launch would be really interesting if you haven't had a chance to do that already. And also obviously learning just about your countries and your culture, similar to what we've been doing on the WhatsApp, a little bit of language. All of that is really nice to share at the moment. Okay, I think Elizabeth is in. Are you there, my dear? Can you hear us? I'm not sure if the audio is connected. Okay, hopefully it will connect in a second. So there's lots of things to think about. Is there anything you want to suggest or any questions at the moment?
I think that the exercise is a really good idea for us to get to know each other's schools, and what's really good is that they don't rely on having a connection, and you know that we can do these things kind of independently, but we can share them.
Yeah.
But I guess what's going to happen by the end of the meeting is that you'll send us off to liaise with our partner school directly. Is that what usually happens? Yeah,
definitely. And if you've got more members of staff in your school that want to take part, create your own little WhatsApp group so you can share all that information. And then our big WhatsApp group can be for the meetings and the bigger bits of information that we need to share. But also if, you know, if people are a bit quiet, then if we're sharing things on the bigger group, sometimes that motivates people to re-engage if there's any issues with communication. But what would be nice if you do the getting to know you activities, that you will have materials straight away to do the launch then when it comes to the official project starting. And hopefully you'll have photos and some videos. Now, we do really want to make sure that we have consent for learners in Nigeria. We have got very strict safeguarding policies in Wales. I know the British Council have consent forms, so I'm going to try and put that on a Google form to make it a bit easier, so that when you do share videos and pictures of your pupils, that we get informed consent from them, that they know it's coming over to their partner school and that will be shared with other people in that school community. We don't want anybody to not know that their photograph is going to the other side of the world. Okay. what we do in Wales, we have that right at the beginning of the school year, and then parents that don't want their children to be their image to be used in any way, you know, all the teachers know, so then they don't have those pupils in photos and videos. The other way to do things is also just to do images of the backs of children. If you don't have everyone's consent and you're not sure, just make sure that you don't have any faces in the pictures. But it is something that we really do want to ensure is part of this project, especially as we're looking at equality and solidarity and respect. So we really want to make sure that happens from the beginning. Okay, Elizabeth, can you hear us now?
Hello.
Hello.
Hi, how are you?
So
yes,
that's actually, I just want to make a comment.
Oh, hang on, we've
Contribution.
got two people speaking at the same time. Ambibola, can I just ask you to wait for a second, because Elizabeth's the primary head that's just come in.
That's fine.
Okay, Elizabeth, do you want to say hi? I think the network has gone now. Oh, no. Can you hear me okay? The audio's not that good from your side. I can hear something, but I can't hear you. Do you want to try again? It's not working so good. I can see the light coming on and then there's no audio. Okay, we'll try again in a minute. Okay, Ambibola, over to you. Sorry about that.
Hi.
Oh, there we go. I can hear you now.
Okay, I will just hold on.
Go on, Elizabeth. Do you want to introduce yourself? You know, the network is bad. I can hear that you're trying to say things and then it's cutting off. Yeah, it's not working, my dear, I'm afraid. If you want to use the chat, it's just breaking up all the time. Do you want to try and use the chat or use the WhatsApp group? Because we can't hear you, I'm sorry. Okay, Ambibola, over to you.
Okay, I just want to make a contribution to the issue of child safeguarding that you talked about just now. That there is a child safeguarding policy also, British Council child safeguarding policy also here in Nigeria. And anytime we have a training or we want to work with the young people, there is a consent form that is being used. I mean, they need to fill and their parents need to give a consent to if we need to use their pictures or videos that we have taken. All these are in place also in Nigeria.
I think I've got a copy of that already, actually, which it's created as an individual form, but what might be useful, I don't know how the best way for you guys to do it, is sometimes you can add a longer list to it and then make sure that some information has gone home and then you've got that signature on one copy, maybe. I don't know, there's different ways that you can do it. I'll have to hand that over to you to have a think about it. But also if we could make it digital, I think that might be quite a good way to get responses, but that's another issue. So leave that with me for now. Okay, so I think I only wanted us to have a quick half-an-hour meeting, folks, because everyone's busy, but I think it's really important to touch base and remind ourselves what we need to do. So yeah, any other questions or things that you need to know at the moment?
Yes, please. Did you say, Sharon, that what date did you say that we'd find out for sure? I know that you're confident that we'll get the funding, but what date will we find out for sure? Well,
I was hoping it'll be by next week. If it's not going to be next week, it'll definitely be the week after. Okay. But I think a 3-week turnaround should be enough because they don't have a great deal of applications. But I'm gonna chase them up and give them a bit of a prod to find out.
All right. And would you say kind of we can be planning independently, or should we just move full steam ahead? What do you think?
I think move full steam ahead. Like I said, if for some reason they say no, we'll just reapply for the June deadline, so it won't affect the project. You know, the only, you know, without the funding, you can't access the CPD, and you can't necessarily access me. I don't get paid without the funding. But if that's delayed for some reason, that's fine, you know, because also you want the partnership to start anyway. So I would just carry on now, and get a date in, you know, like we said in June in the action plan, you want to start doing the sharing, really then plan for maybe the official project launch to be the beginning of June. Well, we've got half term, guys, actually, so we've got a holiday that first week of June, so maybe the first week back would be a good time to launch the project officially, so that you've got a couple of weeks now to start getting to know each other, pupil to pupil, teacher to teacher, start generating some materials for a presentation that could be shared. You know, we've got our social media and our website links, so we could always put a little blog on there that could be shared as part of the launch. What would be good to decide and have a think about is how we'd like to share information, because yes, we can use email and WhatsApp, but it's quite nice to have a space where all the resources can sit. So you can set up a Google Drive. I've just sent you separate Google links at the moment. But something else that we use a lot with many of the projects is Padlet. I don't know if you've heard of that in Nigeria. It's a free website where you can create like a project archive, but also it's quite collaborative. So that could be something you could think about. Vicky, I would say it's over to you guys really on what you want to decide to use for your shared space. But if I quickly show you before we knock off an example, oh, I'm still sharing my screen, sorry. If I quickly show you an example of a Padlet that we've done in the past, they can be accessed on your phone, so they are really good to use. So let me just share one here. So this is a cluster with Lesotho, and so you can lay it out in different ways, but it's free to create. You can create 3, and we use the shelve kind of setting so that you've got different columns for materials, and basically you can scroll across indefinitely really, and you can put your resources up there, you can put your action plan in, and what we have then are columns for each partnership, so that when they do work they can post it up there and then everybody can see it. And what's nice about Padlet, because it's so visual, it's easy to navigate. If you just put everything into a Google Drive, it's a bit hard to find stuff sometimes, whereas with this you could share this with a member of staff as well, if they want to get involved with the project quite easily. And we can put links, you can put videos, PDFs, everything, PowerPoints on there. Okay, and also what you could do with privacy, you can keep it private so that nobody else can see it unless they've got a link. So, you know, I would leave that to Nant Gwyn to decide on the, you know, the way in which you want to do your leadership style of stuff as well. But then when we meet again, we want to pin down the CPD as well. So Bimbolah's talked about the Nigerian side, but in Wales here we've got our options that have been identified in the form as well for the different CPD that you can take part in. So we'll talk about that in our next meeting as well.
Sharon, what happens there? Do we go on a course together, or do we access resources? What happens with the CPD?
So at the moment they're still online. So the main one that is comparable with the one in Nigeria is the Sustainable Partnerships course. And so that would be self-guided, and then you would have a Zoom session, which can be everybody, which would be really good. So that would be the schools in Nigeria as well. And then that is a facilitated session by the Welsh Centre for International Affairs that talks about how to move forward together, how to build equitable and sustainable partnerships. But for the Welsh side, it is self-guided initially. But it's really, really good course. And I think it takes about 4 hours altogether, and then an hour for the Zoom. So that would be the first one that I recommend. But there are other free kind of self-guided things that I do recommend to people as well. So there is one on the SDGs. So if you're not that au fait with the global goals, there's an hour's Microsoft course that is for teachers. I've also got an Oxfam handbook for teachers. So I'll email these links out after the meeting. So that is it's a UK-based teacher's handbook, but that again goes through the importance of the SDGs being embedded into the curriculum. And then from the Welsh side, which it is accessible to anybody, there is about an hour's course on global learning. That's a level 1 course that's led by Sazani, and that is again self-guided online. But just that's using the British Council resources and materials that are used for the international partnership courses. So it's quite a good one to just dip your toe into at the beginning. So I'll send those links out to everybody because everyone can access those. All right. And I think it doesn't even matter about the funding with those because they're online, they're free, they exist. All right, Elizabeth, can you hear us now, my friend? We can hear the background, but we can't hear you. No, I don't think it's working, is it? No. Okay, Elizabeth, I'm so sorry. Your audio hasn't really worked for us today, but I will send you the recording so you've got everything you missed. Can you hear? Can you try? Elizabeth, can you try again? No, I don't think it's going to work. Okay, I think we'll call it a day, folks. I'll follow up with the links. And then over to you guys into your partnership, set up a new WhatsApp group, get to know each other, get some pupils involved, and then we'll have a launch officially then at the beginning. Well, it's going to be the second week of June realistically because we've got a week's holiday. And if we can get some pupils involved in that, even just 2 representatives from each school would be really nice. Okay. All right. Lovely to see everybody this morning.
Hello, Sharon. I have a question, please.
Okay.
Now, should we go ahead and begin to raise awareness in our schools?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
I think you can share about your partnership with Wales because that's not dependent on the funding really, because we want these partnerships to be started anyway. I guess what you just need to press pause on is the official project because we need to wait for that funding. Okay, but yeah, start raising awareness. Absolutely. Yeah, the more people that know from the beginning, the better.
The better. All right. So we can begin to take pictures and videos now.
Yeah.
Just record whatever it's doing. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. So I'll wait for Vicky. You said I'm attached to the secondary school. Okay. All right. Thank you.
All right. No problem. Right, guys. Let's wrap up and shall we choose a date actually for June for that first week back, which will be the week of the 7th. Is that right? Yeah. Do you want to lead, Vicky, on your diary there? See what you've got available.
Yeah, that week. I mean, Monday and Tuesday are looking quite clear. So what would that be? The 14th? No, the 7th or 8th?
Yeah. Shall we say the 8th? Because Monday's always a bit hectic, the first day back after half term, isn't it?
Yeah.
So same time, should we say 10 o'clock?
Yeah.
And then there's a chance then we can have some learners to come and say hi as well then?
Yeah, that'd be really nice.
Yeah, okay.
That'll be, I didn't get the date now. That'll be Monday
Tuesday the 8th.
Tuesday the 8th. All right. Yeah. Thank you.
Okay. Lovely. All right then, guys, it's been lovely to see you this morning. I'll follow up with an email with the links and the date, and then over to you guys to set up your own WhatsApp groups and get chatting and sharing. Okay. I'll send the
Thank you,
recording as
Sharon.
well. No problem,
Bye,
guys. Have a good
Thanks very
day.
much.
All right.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you, Sharon.
Thank you. Thank you, Sharon.
Yeah, bye-bye.
Thank you so